fellow internets, here we are with our February 2018 update video. Well, we find ourselves about in the middle of our Great Canadian Winter of 2018. We've had ourselves a lot of cold weather, right around the minus 47 Celsius range. Kind of back and forth all over the place. We'll get a week or two of that, and then it'll start to warm up a little bit. And we'll get another week or two of, minus 25, minus 27 Celsius, of course. And then it'll drop back down to, the minus 40s. Well, currently we're going through a little bit of a cooling trend again. We had some temperatures around +1, +2 for a couple of days, which, made things melt like crazy. However, those don't last for long. Well, as for me, of course, been keeping on, trying to make content when I can, trying to get things going and rolling, winning if I can. I've been so focused on dealing with other things that my own personal life has been put on the back burner. And there has been some issues that have been ignored because of other things that I am currently working to deal with. I can't be much value to anybody else if my own personal life has issues and problems. So I am working towards getting all those fixed, solved, remedied, and dealt with, and then things will be great as they choose to be. Well, the cargo trailer to camper conversion sits in its hibernating winter kind of state here. Snow on the roof, snow on the ground all the way around. Haven't popped the door open in a couple of months, but hey, that's why I chose this type of trailer. I wanted the kind of trailer that if I parked it in the fall, I wouldn't have to come back to winterize it, and that's exactly what I got. If I would have bought or would have kept my Jayco or bought a so-called standard RV, then I would have had to have winterized it and all that fuss and all that stuff that goes on with it. Something like this is pretty much an unhook and a park and leave it. Make sure the windows are closed, make sure the perishable food is out of it, and everything works out the way it needs to be. Well, with my life the way it's been, my health and a few things changing the way it has, I haven't had much time at all to get into the shed or garage, much less crack in the door and even sticking my head in there since winter pretty much hit. Been in there once or twice to grab a jug of windshield washer fluid, but that's pretty much it. I really would like to get in there and do some straightening around and some cleaning, but the weather needs to warm up before I get in there. In the perfect world, like I've said before in other vlogs, there would be a heat source in there and it'd be heated and I could work in there all year round. However, there's no point in putting out that kind of money if I am not able to be in there working like I want to be. Well, by now you've seen all the videos pertaining to the big surprise, the out with the old, in with the new, the sneak a peek videos, and the first look at my new truck. It has been 4 months that I have owned this here truck, and in those 4 months, well, I've learned a lot about the Denali trim level of trucks. I'll be making a separate video on this as the time permits in the future. There is a spoiler alert of an upcoming video that I'm showing you right now. If you can figure out what it is, leave a comment below. If you can't figure it out, well, stay tuned for a few more videos and it'll show up. But this is my surprise, a 2017 GMC Sierra Denali. Now, really, the Denali doesn't really mean much in terms of, better towing capacity or, horsepower or nothing. It's more of a trim level, with the big chrome wheels, the grill, cooled seats, and a few things like that. I have done some digging and done some research, and there are other models on the market that give you almost the exact same features of this truck without having to break the bank and pay the big huge price to get the Denali trim level. But like I said, guys, in previous videos, making emotional choices sometimes is not good. And when I bought the 2016 GMC Canyon, there was a lot of things going on with my life. Things that I probably should have dealt with before purchasing another truck, another vehicle. However, I had the means to buy another Canyon, and I was going through a lot of things at that time, and without thinking things through and thinking over things properly like they should have, I purchased another small truck. When in the fall of 2016, I should have went and purchased a full-size truck. I could have been in a full-size market a year earlier and not took nowhere near as much of a loss, if you want to call it that, if you play the numbers game on the trucks. However, I got a really good deal on this here Denali, kind of a once-in-a-lifetime type of deal. If you guys do some digging, do some research, and find out what the actual suggested price of these brand new trucks are, you'll be surprised. And when I bought my Canyon, I paid retail for it, and it was only just a few $1,000s less than I got this truck for. So I got a really sweet deal on a Denali. I know I've had requests to do walkthrough of my outbuildings. However, it's a little hard to do walkthroughs when you can't get in them with everything gone on the way it went on and stuff being jammed in corners. There's not a lot of room to get in to view what's inside my outbuildings. Essentially, it's mainly just storage of junk that probably I could actually get rid of, but I choose to keep it for no real apparent reason other than, I might need it someday. But the basic structure of the shed's doing well. I built this here shed in about 2008 or so, well before this channel ever came into the picture. There are a few things, if I ever did it again, I would probably change. One, of course, being the roof. However, I had a phone line running pretty close to the roof when I built the shed, and that was why I built it the way I did. Had I known that only a couple of years later that phone line would have been removed, I would have built it, well, in a peaked roof style and not worried about the useless phone line, not being able to work. But maybe in the future we'll go back and build the roof we want to build some attic space up there, and it'll be a really good shed for many years to come. Well, there sits the marathon trailer. Hasn't really moved since probably before Christmas, right around November or so. I believe there's a video coming up in the lineup here where I move the trailer with the new truck here. I was going to do a dump run, however there's not enough material in there to warrant a dump run in my mind. And well, here she sits, as you see, no snow under it. Been sitting there half full all this time. Wanted to do some cleanup before the snow got too deep, but again, things don't quite work out the way you want it to. Maybe in the spring I'll be able to fill this trailer up and then do another load once the dump dries out. But pretty much, guys, by the time you see this here video, we have about 2 or 3 days left before the big YouTube demonetization changes take in effect. YouTube is going through and demonetizing all channels that don't have 1,000 subscribers and don't have 4,000 watched views or so in the last year. Now this channel, the Maxwell's Life Entertainment channel, or Maxwell's World channel as it originally was called, is safe from this round of cuts. However, the vlogging channel and the Maxwell's Madness channel, formerly the Fire Pit channel, doesn't make that cut. So I've got some decisions to make coming up here in the next week or two. Do I want to keep both channels going, even though they're not going to ever make any monetization? Or do I want to close those channels and save the headache of maintaining them, especially with no money or monetization coming in anyways? That being said, the vlogging channel and the Fire Pit channel has never even made any money in the whole, 6 or so years that they've been running. If I add up the totals on both the analytics, there's not even enough money made to go out for a decent meal. Now, you guys have probably noticed over the last year or so, I've been uploading both the vlog and the Fire Pit content to the Maxwell's Life Entertainment channel. So the videos are out there. The videos will continue to be uploaded to this here channel. And just as I figured, my viewers will choose to watch whatever content they choose to watch. If they're viewers of all my content, then they'll watch everything I put on my channel. And if they choose to watch Fire Pit only, then they'll watch that content. Or vlog only, then they'll only watch that content. And that was exactly the way I thought, and exactly the way how, well, it is working out. That being said, I have been poking around on the Patreon website. Now, I'm not gonna quit uploading to YouTube. However, I have videos in my library that I shot last summer in Drumheller that would have been nice to have been able to give in a sneak peek to my viewers. Now, I've been trying to figure out a way to make Patreon work. However, it looks like I have to upload a video to YouTube, set it to unlisted, and paste a link to Patreon. And I can't put it like I normally do on Scheduler to go live in 3-4 weeks. It has to go on unlisted, and then I have to remember to go back through and put it as public at the time that it's supposed to go live at. So it's going to be a lot of figuring, a lot of head scratching, a lot of remembering, and if my schedule doesn't work around YouTube time, then there's going to be some days where there is no videos on YouTube, and I don't want to do that. So I have been scratching my head trying to figure out how to make the Patreon accept a link from a video that is on schedule release, because it doesn't seem to want to work. If anybody has any tips on how to use Patreon, let me know. I have done some research online. However, it tells me how to post a link, and it tells how to do the unlisted thing. And from there, as I can tell, there is no way to do the whole scheduled video link from YouTube to Patreon. So it looks like at this time, unless I release Patreon only specific content, it's going to be hard to make do with my current schedule. And what I mean by current schedule is, of course, I have good days and I have bad days, and I have days where it's off days. On my good days, I'm ready to take over the world and do pretty much anything. And on my off days, I kind of den up and don't do much at all. And on my bad days, well, I pretty much hibernate and hide away for 3, 4, 5 days or more. And nobody sees nothing of me. And right about the time they're ready to send in the search dogs to see if I died, then I poke my head out of my little cave and everything's fine. But pretty much, guys, I'm going to try to work things out, try to get things back on track to where they should have been, where they need to be. I've been dealing with medical issues now for over 16 years that were left untreated after a professional diagnosis. And sometimes you put your faith in healthcare professionals that don't seem to do their job, and you don't really want to rock the boat, but at the same time you know there's something going on, but you can't get anyone to listen. So I finally have been able to get somebody to listen, and I'm going to get resent to the original specialist that made the diagnosis. Hopefully everything goes good, we can get some treatment going and get back to where things are needing to be. You know, you remember the garage project that we did, it never did get finished. You remember the landscaping project, you remember the basement project, you remember the bicycles I used to work on. Some of those are still unfinished. I've got unfinished projects and hopes and dreams that will never get finished or never become reality if I stay the course I'm on. So I have to get things squared away, get things took care of, and everything will work out the way it needs to be. It may not be the reality or the future that I want or that I was hoping for, but it'll be the way that, well, it's going to work out to be. Remember, we do have a post office box for all your fan mail needs. Send me a letter, send me a decal, send me an item. If you write me, I will write back. If you do send me a letter, please include a legible address with a postal or a zip code, because unfortunately with our system the way it is, without a proper paperwork, it's not going to go very far. Thanks for watching our February 2018 update, and as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's World. Comment, subscribe, and enjoy.